Hello, this is Dr. Dave of the Whiz Bang Science Show, and as you can see around me, it has been snowing here today, past few days, and we got some beautiful snow. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about making snowballs and the physics of making snowballs. So snow, when it comes down, is in little flakes. Now when it first came down, it was really cold here. It was like around 15 degrees Fahrenheit, much below freezing. And the snow was really fluffy, really fine. We call it a dry snow. There wasn't much melted water in it, any liquid water in it, and so it wasn't very good for packing. So you'd pick it up, some snow, and you'd try to pack it, and it would just fall apart in your hands. Well, this snow, it's a little warmer today. It's in the 30s. Around freezing point, around the melting point, however you want to look at it, and this snow packs up beautifully. When you compress snow, the solid will turn into, some of it will turn into a liquid, it will melt, and when you let go, that pressure, it'll freeze again and form a nice snowball. So even when it is really cold, you can compact it and get a snowball, but it's really hard. You really got to work at it to get that much pressure on a cold day. But on a day like today, you just pretty much pick up the snow and you got a snowball. And snowball fights, I think, are one of the best part of the winter season. And I got my target back there. Let's see how good I am at hitting my target. Oh, a little short. Let me give it one more go. Whoa, over the target. So making snowballs is really fun, but that also shows us an interesting point about water, is that solid water is less dense than liquid water. No other thing behaves this way, where the solid is less dense. And this gives water some really cool principles, and some principles that happen because it allows us to have life. So here is some ice cubes floating in liquid water. Now, imagine if they didn't float. If instead, when water froze, it sunk to the bottom. Well, what would happen? Well, as it sinks to the bottom, the water, liquid water on the top is going to freeze, and that's going to sink, and eventually your whole lakes would be frozen blocks of ice, and nothing could survive in them. That would kill all the fish. At least all the larger organisms couldn't survive. So, thankfully, the ice floats on top, and the water underneath stays liquid. And that ice actually provides some insulation so that that liquid water can stay a little warmer and help to sustain life in there. Another thing that being less dense as a solid means it takes up a little more space. And so when water melts and gets into crevices or rocks, and then when it freezes, it turns into a solid and it expands and it cracks rocks. And that helps. That process of erosion is very important. That over the years, along with other types of weathering, that the mountains will break down and eventually turn into smaller particles, which will become soil. So it's really important for life that water has these cool properties. And just speaking of some of the cool things, I just want to show you, if you look on the ground around here, you'll see that the snow looks pretty smooth over here. There's a few footprints in it. But when you come underneath my crab apple tree, and you can see there's some crab apples up in that tree, that down on the ground there is lots of footprints. Now these are not human footprints, these are deer footprints. or should I say deer hoof prints. And let's look for a good hoof print. You can kind of see down here the shape of the hoof in some of these prints. But there's been lots of deer, and in the wintertime, they forage around and they're looking for the crab apples that have fallen. And that's how they help to survive. What's really cool is the snow right now is so optimum that if I put my foot and make a footprint here, you can see and you can read what it says. It says Irish setter, and way down below, it's kind of hard for me to read, but it says something resistant, some type of resistant, but you can see the tread of my shoe really well because the snow packs so well right now. So I don't know if it's snowing where you are at, but if it is, go out and play in it, get your friends together and have a snowball fight. And if you got some clean snow, you can even try to eat a little snow. It's just water. As long as it's clean, it's safe to eat. So I hope you have a good time, and I hope you come back and watch some more videos. And that's how you end the show, with a snowball.